Alright, this is a tour of my backyard. This is the big dog, Warren, and you'll just have to trust me on that. So this is my backyard, and there's my dog Zuni running around. So I'm just going to do a little tour of all the plants I've got growing. Like my pinecone cactus and the Santa Rita's, all the Santa Rita cuttings that I have, and the various cactuses, trichos and some kind of columnar or something or other, like a fence post, but just cuttings that I've got and I'm growing from. And this is my dragon fruit plant. Let's see if I can get it. So it grows these big delicious fruits. They're good for you, and there's more of them. And then here's my fire pit right here, and here's my bench to sit by the fire at. And then here's more cuttings of my dragon fruit plant. And here is my I consider it a bonsai ponytail plant, because a couple years ago I cut off all the tops. It had like 9 trunks coming out of it, and I was so worried about it, I thought maybe I killed it, but I put it back in this box with good soil and kind of a bonsai look, because it's not very deep, the box. But the heads grew back. Oh my god, there's over 20 heads now, I believe. I don't know, they're kind of hard to count, but yeah, it's doing great. So this is my adenium table and other various cactuses that I have, mostly adeniums. These are all in stages. They're all a work in progress. I kind of have a plan for all of them, but the thing is, with adeniums, it takes time. You got to be patient. So here is another bonsai tree that I did that's, I forget the name of. And here's my chiltepine, which is now making chiltepines right now. Look, see the green ones? Oh, they're so good. And there's my wild plant that I don't know what it is. It's got really shiny leaves on it though, anyway. And there's 2 Mexican onion plants, and of course we're all under 2 big mesquite trees that provide lots of shade. So to me, it's a good atmosphere to get the plants out of the direct sun and have a shaded situation going on, and they can survive sometimes all winter, even being out here. But yeah, and this is my newest table. Those are 3 tables that I made before. This is my 4th table. This has all my favorite adeniums on them right now, like this one right here that's bent over, and I bent it over on purpose, and also I made an O. I'm thinking about grafting those 2 arms together. I'm not sure what it would do. It would probably work, and that it would make an O in the plant. And see, this one I bent over at a pretty severe angle, and also this one, they're pretty severe angles. So when I did that, I made little cuts along the outer bark to kind of let it do that more and make it easier for the plant. And also it makes flowers pop out all along this length right here when it goes into flowering mode. So it's pretty cool. My favorite thing is this leaf right here. It's trying to turn so it can be facing the sun. So that branch is adjusting to the severe bend I put on it. And this one right here is adjusting. It's trying to turn so that the right side is facing the sun. So that's just an experiment of mine. All these others are works in progress. These are my original boxes that I made. Oh, that one's my original box. Pretty basic redwood box. And then I got a little more fancy, made these 2 and a few others. And then I got into the aloe vera pots, I guess they're called, something like that. I don't know. I just like the looks of them. So these are all works in progress also. And look, that one right there is about to bloom. I have no idea what color, but it looks like a red. And yeah, these are all, and this is one of my favorites because it's in such a tiny small pot, but it's doing great. It's really thriving, and I wouldn't be surprised if it flowers pretty soon. And here's all these little plants that are popping up in my pots, in my soil, and I think they're all from this thing right here, because this thing got into one of my plants and started growing, so I let it grow, and then it got too big, so I pulled it out and put it in here, and a bunch of leaves and stuff broke off, and I took a lot of those leaves and I put them in this pot, which now you can see most of them are starting to sprout. So in another, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, all these will be sprouted and growing, and it'll look really cool. So yeah, these are more of my boxes that I made. I didn't have any money to buy pots, so I just made boxes. And these are various stages. I could explain what each one is and what they do. There's another little experiment of some arms in a sorrel boot with my premium soil, and it looks like only 2 of the arms are growing. As you can see, that one, and there's another one over there, it's growing. But all the rest of them, they don't look too good. Maybe this one, or maybe that one will do something. I don't know. I'll be patient. But yeah, just my fascination with adeniums, it's been going on for about 5 years now. And I've also been cutting the heads off most of my plants. As you can see, I cut the heads off. And it seems like a cruel thing to do, and it's kind of weird to just take a knife and slice the head off these things, but when you do, they grow back at least 2, at least 1, but it's usually 2 or 3 heads, and so then you've got a 2-headed cactus growing. And I always want the most heads you can get. I think that's the best way to go. And these are all heads that I've planted, that I cut off those other ones, and I don't really know what they're going to do, but I just let them callus over and then planted them here. And another one, it was a random one from somewhere. This is my pet project, and it's going to be my favorite adenium because it's got, I severely trimmed this, the roots, the leaves, the branches, everything. And right now it is starting to put out sprouts, and I don't know if you can see them. They're so small. I can see them. There's like, I counted them, and there's 23, maybe 25 sprouts starting to come out of all these branches. I don't know if this thing is going to focus on them or what, but yeah. So that's all that. And these are some of my other plants, the variegated agave, and just a little thing I put together in an old feeder, horse feeder. And this one I cut the heads off, and it's actually quite amazing. It's got 3 heads coming out of each cut off head. So each one is putting out 3 heads. It's going to have 6 heads on this thing, maybe more. So yeah, this one's doing exactly what I wanted it to, which is not always the case. So these are my strawberries that have been doing really good since the rains and and I've been fertilizing with this fish poo fertilizer, which is the best stuff I've ever used. And I don't know if it's high in nitrogen or phosphorus or what, but it makes your plants just thrive, you know. And also I've been spraying with the organic neem oil and peppermint oil, and I don't know, something else in a spray bottle, and all my little aphids have gone away. Not all of them, but most of them. So these are my carrots that I grew from, I had another bed of carrots in this area, and one of them grew real big, and I let it grow until it flowered and seeded. I let it go to seed. And these are the seeds from the top seed pod of that old carrot, and they just popped up immediately, and I just kind of put a layer in, so there's going to be a lot of carrots in there, and we'll see how that goes. And these are my poblanos, which I have them all trimmed, and I trimmed the the leaves and the interior of the plants to make it focus more on the upwards and the peppers themselves. So when you trim all the inward, downward tree leaves and little branches, more power goes into the upper branches, and that's where you want it, where the peppers are. So yeah, I've been doing that. I had to cut them back because they were just exploding out of this thing, and I want to keep them in here where I can get to them easily, you know. So that's the thing. So these are Scotch bonnet peppers, and these are poblanos, and I hopefully they'll get big enough to get put into food and stuff, but we'll see. But these are Scotch bonnets, and they're I've been looking forward to growing these for so long. And it's got there's a couple you can see. I don't know, they're kind of hard to find, but it's starting to make peppers right now, and I've trimmed it the same way, the bottom leaves and branches. It's all laying right here, and I've done the same thing on these poblanos. So I want to keep all the growth in this area and up about this level, so we'll see how that works out. Some more old carrots that have been in there for quite a while, and an empty area that I could do something with, just too lazy. So here's a totem pole that's growing really good, and his buddy that just put out 3 arms recently. You can see all 3 of them now, I think. And so he's doing really good. And my other guy that I cut his head off, and he's got 3 branches coming out. And my whatever this thing is, which I always forget, I don't know if it's elephant food or what, but and this was a rescue I did at church, and because it was basically out of the ground, it wasn't even growing, it was half dead. So I brought it here and put it in good soil, and it sprouted two pads. So that's good. And my paper skin cactus and another variegated agave and purple whatever that thing is. It's not purple now because it's been raining so much. If it ever dries out and we go through another drought, it'll turn red again. So, and this is my gnarly thing. I don't know what it's called. Crested something or other. It's pretty cool that I've transplanted it and I take good care of it. And another variegated agave. Then over here is my little, I don't know what those are called. They put out a nice flower. And there's a vine growing into it, and I don't even know what kind of vine that is. But I like vines, so I'm letting it grow. And here's a tree that's not really doing much. It was a Christmas time live tree, and I've trimmed it back. I haven't really cut the top too much. I'm just trying to get it to go. You know, it seems like it hasn't done much. But anyway, another one of those with weeds in it. Another variegated agave. This is a plant that I also don't know the name of, that Becky gave me, and it's now flowering after having it for a couple of years, I think. I was beginning to think it would never flower. So now it is flowering. It's making flowers. So that'll be cool to see them blooms. And this guy's making a flower, sticking out, and this is a moringa. 3 moringa trees that survived my last garden somehow in this pot. And so I try to encourage them, but they're not very big, and they're not really going to flower or anything, you know, or seed, but oh well. So just some little plants I have. This guy hanging here, he's kind of cool. He had flowers for a long time. They're all dead now, as you can see. And this guy was also hanging from a tree like that one, and one day it fell down. So I just put it in this pot I already had here, this redwood pot. I just dropped it in there, and now it was in fresh soil and stuff, so now it's doing great. More of that elephant food stuff growing everywhere. I don't even know if that's what it is, but maybe someone will tell me. Yeah, so that's my backyard. That's more cut-off heads that need to be planted. Oh, and this is my tamarind tree that I thought was a mesquite tree, but I'm fooled easily. So, but I found out it's a tamarind tree, and growing in there next to my dragon's blood tree, and it was growing so fast and looked so cool that I was letting it grow, and I was bonsaiing it and trimming it, and then someone told me it's a tamarind and it's invasive, and so then I pulled it out. I pulled the whole thing out by the roots. Tried not to break the roots up, or actually I trimmed the roots after I pulled it out, just like I would a bonsai plant. And then I put them in this soil to give it any chance it could have, and it's actually recovering and starting to grow. So this thing is a fast grower, and it's a cool looking tree. And tamarinds are actually trees that make a fruit that's good for you, and they're not really invasive. It's just I think there's one over there or something. There's one in this neighborhood, so they sprout up everywhere in all my pots, my beds. So and I have another one that I'm letting grow, and I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't took it out of there yet. I guess because I kind of like it. It's this one right here. That's kind of cool. That's also tamarind. Oh. Yeah, so that's my backyard. Hope you like it. Bye.